Cool. Hi, and this video is about, it's called the spear tip that will start judgment. And why have I called it the spear tip that will start judgment? Well, in the Bible, the spear is referenced for war. If I read here in 2 Chronicles 26:14, moreover, Uzzah prepared for all the army shields, spears, helmets, body armor, bows, and sling stones. So they're preparing for war, and spears are always mentioned there. And also Nehemiah 4:13. Then I stationed men in the lowest parts of the space behind the wall, the exposed places, and I stationed the people in the families with their swords, spears, and bows. So spears are used in like warfare. And let me just show you an example why I've used this as a reference. Also, I want to use a definition of tip of the spear. What does that mean? It's used in the military operations to mean the first soldiers to go into war, into a war zone. So tip of the spear, first soldiers go into a war zone, which is very important, and I'll explain more why. Here we have a coat of arms, and guess whose coat of arms they are? It's the coat of arms of Donald Trump. And what do you see in the coat of arms here? A spear. On the top of his coat of arms, he's holding a spear. When Donald Trump came into office, he was 70 years old, 7 months and 7 days on the day of his inauguration to be president. And 777 usually means judgment. Let me just go a bit more into detail about that. As you can see, just like his coat of arms, where remember you see the hand holding the spear, many times you see Donald Trump holding his hand up like he's holding a spear. And also, what I find also interesting, let me just show you this. Even on one of the Trump's towers, one of them has what looks like a spear tip. God knows the beginning and the end of something, and he uses people for his will. For example, like Donald Trump, the tip of the spear which he uses for his means. This is a graduation picture showing Donald Trump, and guess where he is situated? There he is, the very tip of that spear. Donald Trump is that tip of the spear that will cause judgments to come. So there he is, you can access that in his graduation picture. Donald Trump here is the tip of that spear. Even the enemy knew that Donald Trump would be an important part of future history. An episode of The Simpsons aired in 2000 was exactly as it was shown when Donald Trump was coming down the escalator. Let me show you. Sorry about the interruptions. Let me just show you the video now. So here, let me just show you when he was starting to become president, and then you can see the Simpsons copy of it. Sorry, it isn't very clear. It's coming down the escalator, and then you see 13 years later or 14 years later, then you see the same thing happen. It's coming down the escalator and someone drops a sign. Is he wearing the same colour tie? Sorry about the clarity. And again you see the same here. The Simpsons that was shown in 2000. They dropped the sign the same. So obviously the enemy knew he was going to be important later on, as they had it in the episode of The Simpsons in the year 2000, and about 13 or so years later that event happened. Amazing. And finally, I'm going to finish with a quick video. I found it to be quite interesting. I'm going to leave a link below so you can see the entire thing. It's because it's almost an hour long. But I'm just going to show you a couple of minutes of it, the first few minutes of it. I found it quite fascinating and interesting. And here it is. It's called The Rules Planned, April 1630, America Falls. We'll see about that with the date-wise, but it's an interesting video. I just want you to have a look at it and see what you think. And any comments, please leave them below. Here's the video.
As we're about to go into World War III, that there is predictive programming showing that this has been planned. This video, for example, is called I, Pet Goat 2. The reason why it's called Pet Goat 2 is because it's a sequel to the first Pet Goat. Well, the first Pet Goat was on 9/11. And so when it says Pet Goat 2, it's letting you know the next attack on the USA. George W. Bush at Booker Elementary School, 9/11, 2001. That's when the planes were hitting. This is where George Bush was sitting in the class while the planes were hitting. Listen to the story they were reading on 9/11.
Taken from the title of the story. Get ready. Yes, the pet goat. Figures out of the first word of the story.
The pet goat. And see George Bush in the classroom with the teacher beside him, all the kids in the front. You'll see that type of imagery also in this video. You know, George Bush in the classroom beside the teacher, all the kids in the front. This video is named the sequel to 9/11. This is talking about the next attack on the USA. It shows in detail the attack on the USA. It also gives a timeline. And I want to go over that timeline to show you it applies to the month of April. And as we see things escalate now, it just looks all the more certain that their plan is going to be carried out. I'm going to show you this here. It shows Obama. He's got a graduation cap on. Notice that his graduation tassel is not flipped to the front, but when he leans down, it flips to the front. Now, when a tassel is flipped to the front on a graduation cap, that means you're graduating. So this is Obama graduating. This is the end of his presidency. And then it switches to this picture right here. And notice this figure right here. We'll get to her in a second. This figure right here represents Donald Trump.
So I had a bit of interruptions there. My daughter came in the door. So let me just restart the video. What's that point I was left off?
So this is Obama graduating. This is the end of his presidency. And then it switches to this picture right here. And notice this figure right here. We'll get to her in a second. This figure right here represents Donald Trump. See the stag horns coming up off the top of him? Here, I'm going to explain this to you. Bear with me. That's a deer. That's a stag. Okay. And so when it shows that coming off of him here after President Trump or Obama's graduation, it shows the stag horns above him. Now the stag zodiac, okay, the stag zodiac is the zodiac that runs up to, the Celtic zodiac runs up to January 20th. Okay. And what happened on January 20th, President Trump was inaugurated on January 20th. So after Obama's graduation, then it shifts to the inauguration of President Trump, the figure with the hair, you know, Trump's hair swoop. They always make a big deal about his hair underneath the January 20th sign. And notice how his hands are. He's leaned forward in this posture with his hands in the diamond down shape like that, pointed down to make an upside down triangle. You can Google for yourself. You can just Google President Trump sitting. Here, I Googled it. Just Trump sitting. That's all you got to Google. And you're going to see images
like
where his hands are almost always in this upside down triangle position. Right there. If he's not in front of a table, he will sit like that all the time. Okay. and people have pointed it out. Trump sitting, that's all this is. I mean, he just sits like that often, and it's not anything new.
Like I said, I'll leave the link below for the complete video of that. I hope you enjoyed this video, and anyone out there hasn't come to the Lord, please do so now, because we are really running out of time soon, and things are really escalating in the world. So God bless you all, and goodbye. Thank you. Bye-bye.